me and you, we are sick. We have a disease of aging. You don't wait your engine to get broken. We have to do maintenance, right? It's killing us.
All right, we're here at Radfest on Friday night with Ivan. Thank you for taking the time to come and talk to us. I know there's a lot going on. You could be doing so many other things right now, so I appreciate the time here. Tell us a little bit about you, what you're doing, and how you got involved with all this.
I think like around 10 years ago, I came to the idea. I was like, in search for a meaning of life. And I came to the idea that all the things that we have, most of the things that we have in life, they not really matter, but the things that matter is just life itself and well-being of us and people whom we love. It's the only like real thing. All the rest are like kind of imaginary fake stuff. And I was wondering that like why, like it was a long time ago, so I was wondering, look, we cloning all these animals, we go to space, we travel all around, we have like all this AI whatever, and we still can't do something about aging. And aging is killing everyone, right? And it's the thing that brings more suffering than anything else. So I decided to to dedicate my life to fight against aging, and I was looking for ways to contribute to it, like ways that where I can bring more impact. And the idea was just to help like the people who's making who already makes impact in the field. So like I started to try to help scientists or entrepreneurs in the field to just to accelerate them, because if I accelerate myself on 1% and I'm zero, it's nothing. But if I help someone like who's already like doing incredible impact, like you just move all the field forward. So yeah, it's how I started. And I started like it's ended up with funding few biotechs within classical regulations, where we have been working on like longevity bottlenecks, let's say. So we were finding like the things that limit our lifespan and try to tackle it. But as we act in the classic regulation, we had to go and look for a disease where this specific process plays a key role in pathogenesis, and go for a disease. And it's how we're working. We have done really cool discoveries, for example, for restoring tissue elasticity. That is very important. But it's still...
So restoring tissue elasticity?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we restored the elasticity of aorta in mice, and it could be for skin, for cardiovascular system, and but it's so slow within classical regulations, and it's took like... We have been working for years for that, and we're still few years away from giving it to first human. It's terrible. We don't have so much time. So I was looking for other opportunities. So I discovered Prospera. It's a special economic zone in the island of Honduras, where we just have really, let's say, it's quite unregulated in a good way. And so I came to explore that, and I ended up starting another company. And with that company, we launched our first gene therapy in less than a year with really tiny budget, and we already giving it to human, and now we're working to combine multiple gene therapies all together.
So were you in a pop-up city in Prospero, or did you create a pop-up city?
Right. So it's how it's happened. So I knew about Prospera, and I saw it was like just around 2 years ago. I saw that a pop-up city happening there. It was Vitalia. So it was January, February of 2025, and 2024. Yeah. So yeah, 2024. And I decided, okay, it's a great opportunity to go and explore. And I just flew there to explore. I didn't have any plans to start a company. And I was so inspired. But when you get to the environment really matters. You meet all this, like, I met all my investors, I met my like advisors, I met my patients, I met everyone, like, and you can just get to guy to, like, I don't know, our competitors who were doing already gene therapies there. I was coming to them and asking them questions. I was able to go to the clinic, talk to them, and you can do, like, it was very fast because you're already in a tiny environment, but very like intense, let's say. Yeah.
Very,
So
very
yeah.
fast paced.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we came in January. In April, I already incorporated the company. So and
Wow.
so
Okay. And Unlimited Bio is the
It's
company you
Unlimited Bio.
started in Prospera?
Yeah.
Is it still based in Prospera?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's our, like, it's where we
And you said
incorporated.
you took a gene therapy, it's all the way to production now, and you did that within a year?
Yeah, less than a
Okay.
year.
Tell me a little bit more about that. How did that go?
Yeah. Sure. So our first gene therapy that's available now on Prospera, it's a vascular endothelial growth factor. It's a gene therapy responsible for formation of new blood vessels. So when we age, our microcapillaries decline, and all these capillaries, they're so essential. It's like our inner delivery system. When it's all like traffic jammed, you can't deliver like food to you to people, and cells is your people, right? And you can't remove waste, and so we kind of upgrade this delivery system to bring all this nutrition, oxygen, all this stuff. And the cool thing that what's happening there is that we just this gene therapy was approved in Russia back in 2011 for a disease. So for disease, you can get to market any gene therapy, but it took like decades for them to. It actually was one of the first gene therapies approved worldwide. So I went to Russia and we licensed this gene therapy from a Russian company, and we repurposed it for preventive indications. When you give it to healthy people to just enhance them or like to slow down the aging process, and you can do it only in special economic zones, because in classical regulation here in America or in other countries, you have to wait for person to get a disease, and after you can just start giving treatment. And it's kind of not really efficient, because you don't wait your engine to get broken. You start changing oil long time before it gets broken. So we have to do maintenance, right? So yeah, so we just repurposed it, and it took for us like just really like tiny amount of money, and like I don't know, like 6 months, something like that, to get it to market already. So we started to generating revenue.
When you're saying tiny amount of money, I know the precedent people talk about in classical regulation is 15 years and $2 billion.
Right.
So you did it in less than a year, and you don't have to give the exact number, but ballpark. What's
Right. So in our case, we can't compare it to the building new drug that numbers you were mentioning, because it wasn't new drug, it was a repurposing drug. So yeah, so it's a bit different. So for repurposing drug, like numbers change from source to source, but normally, like I think to get a repurposing drug to market, it's cost you $300 million.
200 million.
300,
Two
yeah,
to 300.
yeah,
Okay.
something like that. And for us, it's to like I don't know, $100,000. So
$100,000.
yeah, but
That's a little cheaper.
yeah, it's a bit cheaper. And the main thing that's even with these numbers, we are not allowed to do it in the classical regulation. So me and you, we are sick. We have a disease of aging, but FDA, EMA, all these regulators, they don't consider it as a disease, but it's disease. It's killing us. It's like slow, but it brings a lot of suffering and stuff like that. So we have to cure it and we have to work it. But as aging is not considered as a disease within FDA, so we are not allowed to give it to healthy people. And on Prospera, we finally can starting giving like therapies for people to prevent them from getting a disease, not just like when they already got broken.
Okay, so being based in Prospero, where there is a different level of autonomy and freedom because it is a special economic zone, coming from that perspective, what challenges do you run into that are slowing down your progress even still? And to maybe shift the question a little bit, it seems like a big challenge is reaching the global market or just reaching a market outside of a special economic zone. So can you touch on that, of what some of the roadblocks you do run into?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, first of all, like the first roadblock for me was I was thinking that it's regulatory. Now it's finally solved. I think any therapy that I would like to give to human or for any amount of humans, I can do it in special economic zones. And it was a huge bottleneck that's finally solved. So we are solving bottlenecks. It's very important to have this feeling. And the current bottleneck, look, Prospera is quite new, and it's still like, like I know people have been working on special economic zones in different jurisdictions like America or Europe, like where like in already with in developed countries. Honduras is still like really like not that rich country, and the infrastructure is not that advanced. So you have a basic problems like internet connection. It's an island in Caribbean, so like electricity can just get down. And the most issue for now for us is infrastructure. So because we don't have we have to build lab or we have to ship goods, and it's logistic for the biological items is not that easy. Sometimes you have to ship something in really like cold conditions, and storage conditions. Like it's mostly infrastructure, because like when you build biotech in Boston, so you can just, you need this method, or you need this, like I don't know, this thing, you just go to collaborator next door and you get it, or like you need this like reagents, you get it next day. In Honduras it's a bit different, and also for people to come, like for example, like if you want to recruit patient like and scale, like to run a clinical trial, for them it's more challenging to travel to Honduras than to get it in America, let's say.
So it's almost, I hate to say it this way, but I will for ease of understanding. It's almost an elitist medical practice to be like, you have to come to the zone to get the treatment, which to no fault of yours, that's just how classical regulation is, versus what everyone here would prefer to see, which is almost open access treatment for everybody who wants to have it anywhere. It's affordable. So what I'm seeing here, the challenge you're running into, and probably the other companies that you work with as well, is actually reaching that open market like you would like to, versus only being able to service, super rich people who can afford to
Sure.
fly to Honduras and spend the time to go through it.
Yeah, actually we have to start with the rich people, of course, like, but I mean like but the thing is that it's not for rich people. It's just I think I don't want to. I don't think that we will have to stay forever in Prospera. The thing how I consider Prospera, it's a sandbox to build a case, to showcase like that MVP, let's say, like, right, that's to show to the world that we can, if we don't have regulations, we can do things much faster. And as soon as, and we need two types of MVP, let's say, to show the global public. So the first one is regulatory MVP, and the second one is let's say technical MVP, the solution that it's really works. So we have to show that we can take a treatment and rejuvenate someone significantly. So as soon as it happens, and it happens in special economic zone, like I think the world will have this eye opener. Like they start to get involved in that, and they will quite quickly change regulation within US or wherever when they have this use case. And so I think it's just more in this direction. And like like it's happened with ChatGPT. Like AI has been here for a long time, but people realize that it's here like only when they took a laptop and they chatted with the chat GPT, right?
Right.
So they have this aha moment and eye opener kind of thing. So we need this for longevity space and for regulatory environment when the people say, wow, why it's not happening in the US? They need this, wow moment. And that's what I want to build. And after that, I believe all the countries, they will get into the race for longevity, for whatever the things that's happening with AI, all this like China, US, or everyone, like corporations, they want to be in this race. We need the same happening in longevity. Like, but for that we need like to showcase like kind of Ozempic, but for longevity. Ozempic is like biohacker showcase. Now all the big pharma, they're getting in, they're interested in type of treatment like Ozempic. They already in, they're investing huge money, but we needed the first Ozempic. We need the first Ozempic in longevity. Yeah.
So you've been with Prospera, and it's been around for a few years. And what do you see as the solution to bring about your vision of everyone sees that this is a viable thing and they're trying to race to make it happen? If it was just a matter of look at Prospera as the example, then likely it would have already happened because it's been around for a few years. So what else do you see as the solution to make that vision come to actual reality?
Yeah. First of all, like I want to say that yeah, as Prospera has been around for a while, there are not that many biotech started to work there, and it's also requires some real additional research. Why there are only like just a two or three biotech companies that do therapies on Prospera, and the same with Montana Right to Try, where it's have been passed. Was passed like a while ago. It's the first extension, and since then I'm not aware that someone have started doing treatment there. So it's an issue why people don't move there. It's an issue, and it just doesn't give any like much impetus. But it worked for us for sure. Maybe like they're just few people who are very radical and they want just get in and build. They really feel the urgency. Maybe not that many people just feel urgency. That's why we don't have that many companies. But I'm fine. I want to invite people to work with us, to partner with us, even here in Radfest. And we actually do partner with people. But coming back to the main part of the question, what I would like to build is and how the solution would like could be look like is combinatory approach. So we try to combine multiple things. So we launched it. We started with launching for the first therapy. We just wanted to try that Prospera really works. So we wanted to try with something simple. So we launched the first therapy. It's worked. We started generating revenue for a biotech company after less than a year after incorporation. It's really huge thing to have a revenue. But now we want to bring multiple therapies. So we're bringing 4 more gene therapies under one umbrella, and to combine it with under one to combine it together. So I believe that we still know quite little about aging, and it's difficult to predict and build any predictions. But I think to show a significant difference, we need to combine like dozens of therapies, like 20 or 30 therapies. And that's why we try to partner with many people we can. So if someone has a technology and they go for it within classic regulation, we come to them and say, hey, would you like that we just license it from you for Honduras and do it there? They don't care about Honduran market. It's additional clinical data for them. So we keep putting it into our cocktail or combo. So far we have a combination of 4 gene therapies. It's the first one that we do. We plan to make it by the end of this year. So it's second year of operation of the company. We're already combining 4 gene therapies. It's no one have done so far. I know just one person who have tried 4 gene therapies, but we are running clinical trial on it. So it's already for such a new company,
Wow.
but it's just a second step. And now we have a plans for collect as a collectors to collect let's say 20 more therapies, it's different modalities, and combine them all together and run a clinical trial, and it could show the results. And another important stuff in how we can show this result, how we can measure it. It's additional challenge, but we have some solution for that as well. So
Okay. Well, that's very exciting. Well, I know we've got a lot going on and there's people walking around, so I don't want to take too much of your
Sure.
time. Ivan, thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and I'm sure I'll see you around. We'll be
Yeah, sure.
talking some more.
Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Yeah.